Well, today and every day, it's no surprise that the #1 gift on the wish list for mothers is for their children to be happy and healthy. And one family in Edina knows that everyday health and happiness are relative.
Fox 9's Leah Beno introduces us to Miracle Michael.
Stomp, stomp, stomp. Good job.
While many of us take a breath of fresh air for granted,
Are you going around the truck?
for Michael Borg,
No.
nothing in life has come easy.
Go inside and see Mama?
On this day late last summer, Michael hardly makes it to the foot of his driveway before his nurse, just as she's had to do countless times before, calmly suctions a blockage in his tracheostomy tube in his neck, just so then 3-year-old Michael can breathe again and continue on.
Okay. All done.
He's been through a lot, and he's proof that there can be joy amidst suffering, and he just flashes a smile and lights up a room.
It was when Trisha and Brian were all smiles themselves, 2019, and expecting their 5th child. A routine 20-week ultrasound visit changed everything in their universe. Doctors could immediately see Michael had an extremely enlarged bladder and was gravely sick.
That time frame for us was a really humbling experience for us, because we felt as though there really was nothing that we could do other than pray.
And pray the family did. Suddenly, over the course of 2 days, 18 hours of specialist appointments at the University of Minnesota and Mayo Clinic, Brian and Trisha were told repeatedly, barely halfway through the pregnancy, Michael likely wouldn't make it.
And I remember sitting in the doctor's office, and it was one of the many consults that we had, and one doctor, I was just like, what do you think? They're giving us a 5% chance of him even surviving surgery. And he turns to me and he's like, someone's got to be in the 5%. Why can't it be him? And I told myself that every day the rest of the pregnancy. I was like, someone's got to be in that 5%.
I just fight for those babies.
Dr. Rodrigo Ruano is the world-renowned fetal surgeon the Borgs were referred to. He was working at the Mayo Clinic at the time, before more recently establishing the UHealth Jackson Fetal Care Center in Miami, Florida. He's operated on many babies still tucked inside their mothers' bellies, and recalls Michael's situation with severe bladder obstruction as being particularly challenging.
There is a type of obstruction that the tube that I mentioned, urethra, there's a missing part, a part that is missing. And then it's very challenging. Those babies, they usually don't survive. They don't, because those are the most severe forms of bladder outlet obstructions. And then Michael had this.
That day, Michael did beat the odds, surviving his first in utero surgery, followed just weeks later by a second. The next few months were a heartbreaking blur of Trisha on bed rest trying to prevent her water from breaking, and Brian juggling the household and 4 other kids under the age of 6 with the help of family and friends. Between exceptional medical care and leaning on their faith more than ever before, Michael made it to full term. But when childbirth came, Brian and Trisha were both told, don't expect to hear him cry.
Hi, honey.
It was not what we were expecting, because we were told the worst, we were prepared for the worst.
Michael defied the odds again. Within seconds, he was baptized and moved from his mom's arms to the NICU. Truly bittersweet, as Trisha wasn't sure she'd see him alive again.
No one thought he was going to even make it through the night. And he turned a corner, and he made it through the night. And he made it through one thing after another.
His prune belly syndrome, part of the ripple effect caused by the in utero urinary tract obstruction, and a glaring reminder of the severely damaged kidneys. A dialysis catheter was placed at just 2 days old, essentially solidifying that Michael would someday, as soon as possible, need a new kidney.
As soon as he was born, it was pretty obvious that his kidney function was low. His vitals, his numbers, all that stuff, but also just, it was all of the combination of sickness that you could see.
The first few weeks, his medical team worked to combat collapsed lungs multiple times, along with other severe complications. Meantime, Brian started to have early thoughts of becoming a kidney donor himself.
It was at that moment that I started thinking about it, and not that I knew any of the details of when and how. But I just thought if I got the opportunity to do it, why not? And what a gift that you could give your kid.
Yet while Brian was ready for a kidney transplant, Michael's tiny body was far from ready to receive it. At times, Michael was too fragile to even move to an operating room, and surgical procedures were performed bedside. In addition to kidney failure, cardiac issues, underdeveloped lungs, cerebral palsy, doctors found cancer twice. The list of medical complexities goes on and on and on.
Say welcome home, Michael.
Say hi, Michael.
By the time he could surprise his siblings at home, Michael was 8 months old, had both his kidneys removed, and soon part of his liver would follow. It was the peak of the pandemic in 2020, and 24-hour nurse care came with his medical plan.
Thank God Trish is a nurse. That is where that came so much in handy, because we really did have to create what they had in the hospital, essentially an ICU unit in a room.
Here's his bedroom, lots of machines. He's now in a toddler bed. This is his dialysis cycler, we call it the machine. You will see all of this in the ICU. And we actually bring a lot of our machines with us to the hospital sometimes, especially during cold and flu season. They're like, bring your ventilator when there's a lot of kids that are sick, and bring some of these things that are a little bit more special to Michael.
Despite countless scary moments over the next few years and a couple of emergency ambulance rides to save Michael's life, the beautiful chaos of life, as Tricia calls it, continues. Morning and evening routines include multiple hours of medications, dressing changes.
Michael, where's your head?
And setting up for Michael to hopefully sleep while receiving roughly 10 hours of dialysis every day. Through all of it, Michael rarely stops smiling.
Where's Michael?
Especially when surrounded by his 3 older brothers and older sister, often serving as his best motivators of all.
And the kids, it's been a sacrifice for them, and I think, but also there's been a lot of beauty in it.
Where is he? There he is.
Our conversations with them are like, this is what love looks like. Like, sometimes we have to sacrifice, and sometimes we're called to love when it's inconvenient and it's hard, and you can't do what you want to do, and that's what being a family looks like, and we're there for each other.
All right, let's go outside.
Last summer, when Michael reached a critical milestone of being cancer-free for a full 2 years,
NHL.
Brian learned
High five, baby.
he was a perfect match to donate his kidney to his son. While the Borgs have appreciated dialysis since Michael was born, it has its limitations.
Nice pass, Michael.
And a transplant meant a chance for him to no longer rely on it daily.
He hasn't actually grown in the last 6 months. And so it's become more apparent the impact of being on dialysis has had.
Preparation for transplant was intense, including even more weekly doctor visits than usual.
Get some sleep while you can.
I'll try. Our nurses keep canceling.
Finally, on a day last September, it was transplant day. Michael once again heading for Masonic Children's, while his dad arrived at M Health Fairview's East Bank Hospital across the river.
It was 3 years of just waiting for the opportunity. Again, not knowing if it was going to be me directly to him, but just waiting for that opportunity. And we were so close multiple times where we got that phone call that just said he's not quite healthy enough. So to finally get to that point where we got that phone call, we could plan that date, we got to show up on that day in the morning, like, it was just exciting. It was ready to go.
Dr. Vanessa Humphreyville took the lead for Brian's surgery.
My portion was the easy portion, in my opinion. He had the challenge.
While Dr. Srinath Chinikola performed Michael's. As they explain, it is extremely rare for surgical teams to even attempt a transplant on someone with a trach like Michael requires in his neck for better breathing because of the much greater risk for infection. Exactly what you don't want during an organ transplant.
All these things, the tracheostomy, the vesicostomy, the fact that he had cancer in the past, the chemotherapy, put him at a pretty high risk. But having said that, he was so cheerful and kind to wave to a stranger on the elevator. So I said, if we're going to do it on anyone, it was Michael.
Brian's surgery went exactly as expected, within roughly 2 hours.
What's super important for these kiddos is that their first transplant is the best transplant they get. Their first transplant lasts them the longest. And one of the ways that we do that is to make sure that we match them immunologically. It just so happened to work out that Michael and Brian were actually super closely matched and what we call a zero eplet. So we do think this kidney should, for all intents and purposes, really last him a long time. I think average is 15 to 20. With this next generation sequencing and eplet matching, I would hope that this would last closer to 25 to 30 years.
Bye, Michael! He's ready! Also as expected, Michael's surgery to receive his dad's kidney took a lot longer, roughly 7 hours total, with scar tissue from previous surgeries adding to the complications.
I spent most of my day by the window looking across the river at the hospital that Brian was in while Michael was in surgery, just kind of waiting, because it was pretty hard to have two loved ones in surgery at the same time in different places.
It was all worth it. The kidney transplant an absolute success, and proving it.
Come on, Michael!
Michael was cruising the hospital hallways on his tricycle within a few days.
It was a long surgery, but you know, for us, quality is more important than time.
Within 2 days, Brian had a brief moment to celebrate being released from care across the river. Sore for a couple of weeks and instructions to take it easy for 10. His first stop, a reunion at Michael's bedside.
It was just unbelievable. Like, we had planned his death multiple times, and so to be able to get to this point was a huge milestone.
You ready to go home? Michael's stay was 12 days, which was actually one of our shortest days in his lifetime.
Over the course of the next 6 months, Michael's medical roller coaster continued. While the kidney was doing well, life, winter, common colds, post-transplant medicine adjustments landed Michael in the hospital multiple times. But by March, Michael finally stayed out of the intensive care unit for a full 2 weeks and started to make some of his biggest strides. Standing 2 inches taller since September, stronger than ever, and clearly more engaged with his eye contact, Michael is making some of the post-kidney transplant progress his parents used to only dream about.
Just the other day, he took his first step on his own. And from the very beginning, we were told he was never going to be able to do that. And then 6 months later, we were told he's never going to be able to do that. Years later, never going to be able to do that. So to be able to see him do that, it's pretty cool.
These days, Michael's time is spent with speech therapists and music therapists.
Today, are you feeling angry or happy? Which one? Happy! Yay!
And his round-the-clock nurses still rotate through the house on 12-hour shifts nearly every day.
This was his in utero surgery.
His parents lost track of the number of surgeries long ago.
So every scar tells a story.
But are grateful for every one.
Right?
Oh, it's a beautiful day today with Michael, a beautiful...
By most typical measures, Michael's life is still far from easy. But the Borgs wanted to share their story, in part as a way to show the positive impacts living donors can have.
If you're happy and you know it, say ha ha ha, ha ha ha.
And also as a way of saying thank you to the collaborated efforts between the University of Minnesota Fairview, the Mayo Clinic, plus dozens of specialists, nurses, nephrologists, therapists, family, and friends who have played invaluable roles in Michael's first 4 years of life. And for the rest of us, a reminder to make the most out of whatever life we are given and keep smiling.
Michael's in the mood for singing.
Just like the little boy growing up down the street, living up to his nickname, Miracle Michael.
I hope that anyone who is going through similar situations, whatever the circumstances may be able to listen to this story and just receive that hope and keep fighting just like Michael does.
We will celebrate his life every chance we get.
Oh, it's a beautiful day today with Michael. A beautiful, beautiful day. It's a beautiful day today with Michael. A beautiful, beautiful day.
Blessings to that little boy.
The smile really says it all. It's really hard to talk after a piece like that because it was just so inspirational.
Yeah.
And it's hard to see a child go through.
And their family, it's tough. Well, we wish him all the best. Michael's doing very well, and we know that will continue. All right, we'll be right back.